Hello and welcome to the Life and Fight of a podcast. This is a special UKFC MMA Fighter edition. My name is Jake Cross from Empire Grappling and UK Fighting Championships. I'm joined today by perennial contender of the welterweight division in Jamie Hayes. How's it going, Jamie?
Hey, how's it going? All good, you?
Say again?
All good.
Yes. We're getting there slowly. We're in lockdown at the minute, but we'll touch on that in due course in the interview in the chat. So we just want to introduce yourself, get people to know you a little bit if they don't. So Jamie, you're 25 years old, even though you just forgot that pre-interview, how old you were. You've got a 6-2 amateur record. You have fought on UKFC, you fought for our belt, you've got championships yourself. Start at the beginning then. What got you into the sport? Was you into other martial arts first?
Started off boxing in Birmingham. Spent my childhood in Birmingham, so I started off doing a bit of boxing in Birmingham. And my mate said come down to one of his MMA gyms. So I done 1 or 2 sessions in Birmingham. And it was getting to the point where I was all my family was sort of moving back to Warrington. So I moved back to Warrington and I started getting unfit. And I think it was one of the charity shows. I seen it on Facebook and I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind a go at that. I'll sign up, 6 weeks free training. Signed up to that, had a go at that. Done all the training and everything, managed to get a win under my belt. Obviously, it was head guard, shin guard, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So got a win under my belt there, started growing a bit of confidence. And then Neil said to me, obviously, joined Warrington kickboxing full time, then started getting involved in the academy, the belt grading and the system and stuff like that. And then he was like, why don't you come along and do a bit of kickboxing as well? So I've done a few kickboxing events, won 2 or 3 of those, managed to get an English championship belt in kickboxing as well, which was great. And then it's sort of like, let's get serious with the MMA now. So obviously it just sort of carried on from there. Then I sort of got hooked, as everyone knows. Obviously when you start MMA, it becomes an addiction. Then with the adrenaline, you just want more, you just want to keep training. And ever since, I've just been committed ever since now. I love it.
So were you born in Warrington and then moved to Birmingham, is that right?
Yeah, born in Warrington and parents split when I was younger. My mum moved to Birmingham, so I spent my childhood in Birmingham. And I moved back to Warrington about 5-6 years ago, I'd say. Yeah, about 6 years ago now.
So was it Neil's gym, Warrington Kickboxing, that you first went to? That's where the charity
Yeah,
training...
that was where I first went to. Yeah, I think it was about three years ago I started. Yeah, 3 years ago. Started the kickboxing.
What gym in Birmingham was it? Do you remember?
I'm not too sure, to be honest. It was mainly boxing what I'd done. It was a little gym called Roughnecks. It was only a little unit that it was. And I used to go straight down there after school every day. I can't remember what the MMA gym called. It was in Dudley, Sandwell and Dudley. Well, I only done 1 or 2 sessions there with my mate. It was just a bit of groundwork and, just getting a feel for it. From then I thought I want to touch base with that again. And obviously moving to Warrington, it was sort of all a bit higgledy-piggledy. I was playing a bit of football here and there. And then as soon as I found a gym, settled in, that was it. Then I knew that's what I wanted to do.
All out from there. So you made your official debut. We just discussed this because Tapology isn't 100% up to date. This is the problem we've had for the last year with you trying to work out what your record is. So Samurai Challenge was for the English title, the welterweight title there. You defeated Adam Gamble by decision. Just talk us through sort of the MMA debut. We know you just said that you did some kickboxing bouts, so you had the experience of being in a ring or cage. What was it like stepping into the MMA world for the first time in this setting?
Oh, it was great, to be honest. For fighting against Gamble, he was a tough lad. I think he had a bit of a kickboxing background as well. He had a kickboxing belt as well. So I think it was 2 kickboxers sort of converting to MMA.
Yeah.
He was a tough lad. Put it on him in the first round. I was throwing everything at him as I always do. I just couldn't get him out there. Second round, same again. I was throwing everything I could. Third round, couldn't get him. I think he nearly got submission on me as well. And he was just a tough lad. I think that's the hardest fight I've ever had. The first fight, and it was probably the hardest, I'd say.
Wow.
And his fitness was up there as well. So it was just back and forth for the full 4 rounds. It was a 4-round fight and got the decision at the end. But like I say, 4th round, my arms were burning. It was a buzz, adrenaline buzz.
So that was April 2018, so just over 2 years ago. Then you're more or less straight back in there around 6-7 weeks later. That was on Night of the Gladiators. Is that Stoke Night of the Gladiators? Is that right?
Yeah, that was Stoke. That one, that was in Stoke.
So you faced Kieran Sturrock. I've known Kieran for many years now. A prodigy at a young age from Full Contact Performance Centre in SBG Rochdale. He just turned pro a few months ago.
Yeah, he's just gone Cage Warriors, I think. I think lost, unfortunately. I think rear naked choke it was, yeah.
But I think
he's a top lad. He's a good prospect.
You two coming up again against each other so early on in your career. He was 3-0 at the time. You were 1-0, obviously, as the official record. Yeah. What was that like, sort of facing a talented young kid like that, and obviously only in your second fight?
It was more of an eye opener, to be honest. I mean, I think he had more of a ground game on me, so I think he watched my previous videos, knew that my ground game weren't up to full scratch. And I think he was more, let's get this guy to the ground, get him in no man's land, and see how he reacts to it. Took me to the ground, I got a bit flustered. He landed some decent strikes on me. And I think that was it, fair game in the first round. But that, for me, that was the eye-opener. I need to get to grips with the ground game, start working on my defence if I'm going to be a stand-up striker, you know, get the defence against the takedowns and whatnot. So that was, for me, was just more of an eye-opener. And from there on, that's where the training sort of started getting a bit serious. And I knew the sort of things I had to work on. And it was more of a learning fight for me.
Yeah, I think, especially amateur, and a lot of fighters have said this.
Yeah.
The amateur is all about the experience, all about learning curves, all about learning about yourself. Because once you get into the pro ranks, it's kind of all or nothing to a degree. So I think facing the best you can at amateur, learning the holes and your weaknesses, it's not a bad thing because it will always.
Yeah, that's it. I'd rather get it out of the way at amateur than doing it at pro.
Exactly. If you fight the wrong people, amateur people that you will just beat anyway, you won't learn anything. I feel like looking at your Tapology record and the fights you've been with us, you've fought tough guys.
Yeah.
So that makes you officially at 1-1, but 2 title fights already under your belt. You fought some tough competition, and then you go to Mike Morris. You make your debut in UKFC. That was in October 2018. What was it like facing Mike Morris? Obviously, he's a kind of a veteran at that point. He's been around for a few years. What was it like?
Same again. I came off the back of Sturrock and I thought, I want to fight one of these ground guys again. So obviously they put Morris forward. I watched his videos and I thought, he's going to try and get me down straight away, first round. Know exactly what he's going to do. My coach is saying to me, don't come out swinging. Take your time, pick your shots, work your jab. What did I do? First round, I come out, threw a straight punch at him, which he told me not to do, my coach. And he just took me straight down. 2 rounds on my back, frustrated, fully frustrated. I thought, what's going on here? Should have just listened. And again, it was just another learning curve. Didn't listen to the coaches, didn't work the jab, straight on my back. But I had full energy through that round. I didn't use no energy whatsoever. Obviously, I'm always good with the cardio as well. So I knew as soon as I got out of that bottom position, I had energy to burn. As soon as I broke out of it, I was just putting everything into the strikes. Luckily, I managed to finish him in I think it's the second round, was it? Second round.
So that brings you to 2-1, back in the win column, which obviously builds your confidence, and especially against, like, say, you wanted someone that was going to test you on the ground again.
That was it.
You've grew in 4 months. You've created something and a foundation to sort of build on again. Then you go to Battle Arena. You face Kaspers Berzins. This just shows how much you've come sort of around. So this is only 4 or 5 weeks after Mike Morris. It's technically another ground guy.
Yeah, I've been quite active, to be honest, in the last 2 years.
So talk us through the Kaspers fight, because that was another win. First round, ground and pound. So obviously you're now more comfortable on the ground. You're now
that was it.
I've
been back in the gym, obviously working on my takedowns, working on my defense and stuff, working my ground game. So that's it. I'm not getting took down after this point now. I'm going to start taking people down myself. So obviously I just came out in that fight full of confidence, knew what I had to do, just got the job done.
So now you are 3-1, and you fought in 4 different organisations at this point. What do you feel like that helps you with? Do you feel like the different crowds and the different mindset?
That's it. That was it. Neil said to me, the more different shows you sort of go on as quick as you can, you just sort of get the confidence when you're walking out. It's like imagine like a football match. You play away, you're at home. it was like away days all the time. It was just out of town, and we're always away against all these other different fighters. So it just sort of helped me tune in sort of to the surroundings, and it just made me feel a bit more comfortable. So now, obviously, I've had most of my fights on UKFC now. It sort of feels like a home sort of ground now. So sort of got used to, obviously, the crowd and the feel for it and the commentators and the surroundings. You just feel a bit more comfortable. Whereas in my early fights, it was just sort of go in here, taking what fights we can. But it's definitely helped my confidence and my performances. So
yeah, I guess especially with the crowd, if you're facing a hometown favourite, even if you're the better fighter, most likely will win. It's always plays on your mind a little bit that it's like I like to say in football, the 12th man. The crowd does sort of help, and it can be mentally against you and mentally for them. But you've got good wins under your belt from there, Battle Arena. Then you get a shot on Cage Warriors 101. Liverpool, was that right?
Yeah, Liverpool. It's exhibition arena, that one.
So that's as close to Warrington as you're going to technically get, give or take. That's against Oscar Teixeira. Again, another ground and pound first round. Shows how comfortable you are. That's February 2019. Just talk us the build up to that fight, getting the Cage Warriors opportunity, fighting in Liverpool. What was all that for you?
It's breathtaking, to be honest. I mean, Liverpool exhibition arena is probably as big as it can get, to be honest, especially in Liverpool as well. There's a few decent fighters on there. I think the lad out Darren Till's gym was in there. So it was one of them. I knew it was going to be a step up against Oscar as well. He's a decent striker. I'd watched a few videos on him, and he had a good Muay Thai background. But I watched one of his videos where he got took down. He seemed a bit flustered on his back with the ground and pound, so I thought, I'm going to try and get this guy down. I'm just going to try and put everything into the ground and pound. And it worked, to be honest. Landed a few strikes on him, and he just didn't seem like he could get up. And I just managed to finish it there and then.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that Cage Warriors card now. It is literally stacked, and it's got people that have been on UKFC either pre or post. You go through them: Danny Dixon, Teddy Stringer, Adam Caldwell, Harrison Tate, Tom Somerset, yourself, Joffe. Who else have we got? And you go into sort of the pro ranks that we've had: Mark Kinsella, Anthony O'Connor, Steve Hooper, Junaid, Fleminas. And then obviously the main event is, did you stay for the whole card or this one, or did you go back home? Or
yeah, stayed for the full card.
Because that was the injury, wasn't it? The leg injury.
Broke his leg that night, yeah.
So I'll let you remember that card, but I don't think the bad thing sort of with Cage Warriors, especially the amateur ranks, they don't really show the amateur fights.
That's why I didn't really have a video on it, to be honest. It was more just a cell phone video that I had for that one. So most people doing the research on me didn't really know I'd sort of had that fight either, because there was no video for it on YouTube or Facebook. So it was kind of good in a way, so people can't do less research on you.
Yeah, I guess so. I think the only thing that maybe as a promoter and obviously you as a fighter as well, I think it's always good, because if you get to release your fight, even if it's a month later on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, it engages the audience a little bit and goes, oh, if someone doesn't know Cage Warriors or someone doesn't know you, I think it's a win-win. So I always thought it was strange that they never show these fights. They only concentrate on the pros. I get that for sponsorship and stuff, but a month later, release them, record them. It's part of your archive then.
Definitely, I agree with you on that one. Definitely should release the videos.
So at this point, this is February 2019, mid-February. You're on a 3-fight win streak. You're 4-1. You get the call to face Alex Bold for the UKFC Welterweight Championships. Simon Ridgway vacated. He's turning pro on Bellator. So I think, if I remember rightly, you was due to be in a number 1 contender spot anyway. But then the call came. What was it like thinking, right, this is technically your first time returning to a show. You've already got a win on it. You're fighting for a title, and obviously you would have seen Alex previously. What's going through your head when you get the shout?
It was just new. It was just a step-up call. Obviously, get the title shot now. It was get serious with the training, work on the fitness. I was hammering the fitness into that fight. That fight was probably the fittest. I had a full 5 rounds in me that fight, full 3 minutes, and I could have just gone. I'd done the hours on the treadmill, spent numerous days on that treadmill, putting the road in. I was just treating it as a running race. If he can run as fast as me, keep up with me at my pace. Obviously, he got stopped in the first round, so it didn't go to that. But again, it was just sort of it was, title shot. Let's get in. Let's make something of this now. Unfortunately, he got stopped in the first round.
So yeah, I spoke to Alex last week, and he literally says that he's I think if I'm right, since then you spoke a little bit.
Sound guy.
Yeah, he's watched your fights since, which we'll touch on in a moment. And he says like he likes watching you fight now. Obviously, you had to sort of clash for the title, but he's got so much respect for you. He says like your cardio is unreal, you grit, you just have a non-quit mentality. And I think that's what Alex sort of stepped in there, going right. I need to finish this kid because otherwise he'll be a worry. So that's props to you and your coach Neil and your training partners that you have got that determination where someone is thinking, if I don't finish this guy early, I'm in big trouble. So that's a loss against a good guy who's now about to turn pro. So the only 2 losses on your record are guys that are now turning pro. So it sort of shows where you are at and the only caliber of fighter that can actually push you. So you make a return from the loss against Hassan Hussain. That was in June 2019 at UKFC 10. Hassan, just like you, is a bit younger than you, hungry, wants to fight the best. And as soon as he got the call to fight you, he was like, right, game time now. Knows is a big step up. And I feel like for you maybe even looking there and looking back, it was possibly a lose-lose for you because he didn't have the record, it wasn't the opponent you was maybe looking for. But coming off a loss, it's nice to get back in the win column.
That's it, yeah, exactly.
Second round finish for you, a great finish. You did control the whole fight, but what was it like facing the sort of unknown and having your back against the wall in that?
I seen he's got a good striking base. He's good with his hands, and I knew he got that head kick knockout, so I knew he was going to be decent. I knew he weren't just going to be walk in the park and turn up. So I knew he had a little bit of something about him. I know he'd not been doing it long, so obviously I knew he's determined. So I know he's lost a lot of weight as well. And when I got in there with him, he's like Muhammad Ali. I just couldn't catch him. His head movement was unreal. So I don't know whether they've been practicing it. He's bobbing and weaving. I thought, I'm not going to catch this guy. But I thought, as soon as I land one on him, I can finish it. So second round, I looked across and he was blowing out his arse.
Used all his energy from the bobbing and weaving.
I still had a bug bundle. I think it was all the head movement that he was doing, dodging the strikes. All credit due to him, but second round, I knew he was tired, so I thought as soon as I'm coming out, I've just got to put it straight on him. The coach said to me, put it on him now, he's tired, you can finish this one. Straight out of the blocks and just managed to get the job done. Yeah,
after the fact and looking at replays and stuff, there was people saying that the referee should have stepped in a bit sooner, but that just showed.
Yeah, I thought he should have. I was sort of looking at it, I was like, come on, you need to stop this, how many more shots to finish it, sort of thing.
It's crazy because it was only, 31 seconds into the second round. So the amount of pace and power and shots you put into in that time period. I don't know if you've watched last night's fights, have you?
No, I've watched the headline. That's all I've watched. It's a cracking fight, weren't it?
Yeah, the co-main, it's kind of the opposite to what you're saying. It's like I was waiting for him to stop it, whereas people think Cruz was stopped a little bit early.
I don't know. It's when you watch the replay, it's hit and miss, isn't it? Really,
refs don't have the hindsight of replays, which one thing that's always confused me. I don't know if you agree as well. Is they always say in this athletic commission replays are allowed, but if they look at the replay, the bout's automatically over. Whereas I disagree with that. I think it was in the Cowboy fight there was an eye poke. Whereas if the referee's not sure, he stops it. He looks at the replay. Maybe not for something like that, but that's an idea. And then if it is a negative, then he goes right. That's you get penalised for that. It's not just carry on. It shouldn't affect the fight. Maybe the flow a little bit. I think just stopping the fight automatically and then realising you're wrong in hindsight can kill the mood. So that's June 2019. Get back in the win column. You're now 5-2, and then you're back at UKFC 11. October last year, you faced John Carr. John Carr's gritty.
He's aggressive.
He's probably the most like-for-like body double to you in height, reach, size, everything. What problems did he cause you before you got the finish?
He's really tough. I think I was struggling with the reach and the range, and he knew I was going to come forward, so I think he was just throwing him straight down the middle. He was just keeping it simple, but it was effective. And when I was sort of coming in range, I weren't obviously I've been working on my head movement since, and he was just catching me with the 1-2. But it was just back and forth that fight. Like I say, it was just back and forth aggressive. He was landing a few, I landed a few good shots myself. But again, I knew it was a matter of time because it set such a high pace. I thought he was going to fade away in the second, and he did as well. I think most people who sort of will come up against me sort of will either fade away in the second or the start of the third, and it showed. He did fade away. So again, it's just all the work on the treadmill.
Yeah, I feel like your most impressive finish was Hassan, but your most impressive performance was John Carr. And that just shows after such a loss like Alex, where he's like, right, I need to start finishing opponents. Never mind, people want to finish me. I need to start putting it on them. I'm taking people out and putting the durability on them, and your cardio was amazing. Since John then 6-2, I think we tried to put you in December and then February, but you had little niggles and injuries and you had to withdraw. How are you now? Are you back to full health?
Not back to full health, no, mate. I'm recovering now. I think it was just, I'm not going to obviously touch base on my injuries and mention what it is, but I think it was just a case of overworking because I was pretty busy working and just overtraining as well. So I think this has been a blessing for me, really, COVID-19. Obviously, it's bad that it's happened, but sort of I can imagine a load of fighters have said, obviously, they're recovered now. I'm not going to fall too far behind some of the other fighters because no one can fight at the minute. So it's just a case of recovery now, to be honest, and seeing where I'm at once, obviously, the lockdown's finished, see where I'm at then, speak with the coaches and see what move we take. But like I say, I'm just looking to fight all the best fighters now at the back of my amateur career, get some tough tests, and then obviously look to go pro.
So when the lockdown sort of took place around 2 months ago now, give or take, where are you at with your training? Are you still casually training or are you resting at that point?
I'm running still. I'm running 3 times a week still. I'm still on weight, floating around about 8 to 83 kilograms. So I'm still in, tip-top shape after a cut. I've just been hammering the conditioning at home. I've got my own little gymnastics set up. Do a load of calisthenics as well. So I've just been hammering that. So I've been doing a bit of work as well. So I'm still active. I'm still in peak fitness. It's just striking base and, it's certain aspects I can't do. So it's one of them really. It's just stay as fit as I can. As soon as the injury heals up, back to it.
Of course. So I know from our messages to arrange this, you said you're still working. What's that like been? Obviously, I know a lot of people like myself and others where they can't work. It's just not possible. How have you found it still being able to work? Have you realised? Have you still felt the lockdown and the feeling of that? Or
yeah, it just feels eerie, to be honest. I mean, the roads are dead. There's no one really out and about. Because I work outdoors, flash easy, so it's not been too bad for us. We've just sort of carried on working, obviously stay out of the way of the customers, stick to all the restrictions, and most of the time we're just outdoors up a scaffold, so we're not really in the way. But to be honest, it's not really affected me. I've still worked through the whole thing. I think I had about a week off, and I just couldn't stay, and it was just getting clammy, bored at home. So I live in a terrace house. We've not really got a garden, so it's just getting too much. So I just thought I need to get back to work, get working.
So apart from obviously your normal 9 to 5 work, what else have you been doing in your time off to keep busy and keep mentally stronger? I know you said you're running and you've got a little gym. Have you been watching anything or keeping your mind?
Yeah, I've been studying fights, watching a load of amateur fighters, a load of welters. Been watching some of the Cage Warriors fights, UFC. I'm always watching UFC. I've got the UFC Fight Pass. So my coach Neil Alden, he's always saying, watch this fight, watch that fight. He's always sending me fight studies, at least once or twice a week. So it's I've been active in that aspect, work on the knowledge of the game, and I'm always watching YouTube videos. So it's not been too bad.
So if you look back at your amateur career from the beginning to now, what's your probably biggest take from it?
Learn as much as you can. It's just about soaking in as much information as you can and just progress as best as you can. Obviously watch videos and just keep learning, and obviously listen to coaches in the gym. Got great coaches around me, Neil, Mark and Craig. So it's, just listen to them, take their advice and see how far we can get with it.
So if you had to pick one fight as a highlight, whether it's a win or a loss, what would you pick it as?
What's that? Sorry, my
As
favourite
the
fight.
highlight of your amateur career so far, what one stands
Probably
out?
the Cage Warriors fight. That's my favourite one. I think it was just the atmosphere, the build up to it, the walkout. That was just unreal as well. Obviously, looking around, seeing the crowd, it just had a different feel to it. That's probably my favourite fight. That one.
And I guess also, like you said, you stayed till the end of the card and you watched all of it and you absorbed it after you've been on. It's kind of like you build up for so long, you get yours out of the way, and obviously at UKFC, normally you're towards the end of the card, you're in the title fight, or the main card of the fights. You kind of like you're there most of the day or within reason. Whereas you was on quite early at Cage Warriors, and you get to sit back, you get to watch a card. And technically for free as well, which no one can really argue. You get it first base.
Yeah, can't moan at that.
Of course. Got some quick fire questions here for you, Jamie. Just answer them first when it comes to your head. So number one, ketchup or brown sauce?
Ketchup.
Mayonnaise or salad cream?
Mayo.
Good lad. City break or beach holiday?
Beach holiday. All day.
If you do game, Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
When you eat, fork in your left hand or your right hand?
Let me work it out. Right hand. Right hand.
Yeah. Like, wait, what?
I had to think about that then. Yeah, the right hand.
It's like your little shadow boxing. So, do you prefer a shower or a bath?
Shower.
Obviously, I know, yeah, you're a stand-up orientated fighter, but do you prefer gi or no gi? Do you practice in gi?
No gi.
No gi. Whether you can answer this two ways: when you fight or when you watch a fight, do you prefer a submission, seeing a submission win, or doing a submission win, or a knockout?
Knockout.
A war or a quick finish?
Quick finish.
Is that for yourself?
Yeah, quick finish. Yeah, prefer a quick finish. Get in, get the job done.
I presume if you're watching, you prefer a war.
Yeah, if I'm watching, it's preferably a war. Yeah.
It's like yeah, you want a quick finish so you can maybe turn it around quicker so you don't cause any damage because that's the aim. But
that's it.
Selfishly watch it going, oh.
You want to see cuts, that's it. Yeah, you want to see the best fight possible, don't you?
Yeah. So last one, an infamous one, Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre?
Oh, hard on that. Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva. Thanks for that. So moving forward, and I know you said you want to get more amateur fights under your head there, and then you want to turn pro. Is there anything you want to do before you turn pro? Do you want to do the IMAFs? Do you want another shot at the UKFC belt? Do you want, is there certain points you maybe want to rematch?
So I get another shot at that UKFC title belt. I reckon that'll be the close to my sort of amateur career then, and then sort of looking to go pro. Then it's just, I think, lost against Bowl. It's sort of a chapter I need to relive. Get that title belt, get the win. I know Bowl's going pro now. Get that title belt, and then look to going pro. Then
I think with obviously Alex going pro, I feel like you were still learning at that point in your career.
Yeah.
Whereas now, if you came back, whether it's in the next fight or the next two fights or whenever this is all lifted, I feel like that's when you'll be in your own element and you'll probably perform better than you even did against John Carr.
Yeah, definitely.
Is something to definitely look forward to. Is the IMAFs anything you've been favourable towards, or is it not interest you?
I wouldn't mind doing it, to be honest. Yeah, definitely. I'd look to do that 100%. Like I say, you get to travel abroad, and it's like being pro. So it's all experience. Traveling, the anticipation of it, and it's all experience. So that is something. Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Of course. Is there anyone out there that you would like to face if it was for the belt on UKFC, or generally, is anyone out there in the welterweight division, maybe in the rankings, that you think, I wouldn't mind?
Just anyone in the top 20 ranking, just someone who's up there, got a good name for themselves, similar to me, has a decent crowd to turn up, and let's just get it on. Let's get it going for the belt. Like I say, no one particular, just a top, a top hard fight to close the amateur career with.
Nice. Thanks for your time, Jamie. Is there anyone you would like to thank? Any sponsors, anyone like that?
I want to thank all my coaches, Neil, Mark and Craig, obviously putting up with me in the gym all the time, teaching me the ways, and family and friends for turning up, showing the support, endless support. So I'd like to thank all them. That's it, thanks.
No worries. Thanks for your time, fella. Hopefully you're back to 100% yourself, and we're back up and running as soon as possible. Get you moving towards that belt, and then, like you say, close out your amateur career in style.
Perfect.
Nice one. Thanks for your time, fella.
Cheers, mate.